Your body possesses the access code to lucid dreaming, and it can be activated now. While many believe you must be deeply asleep to dream, there is a secret that defies all teachings. There are dreams that are born with your eyes open, and contrary to popular belief, they are not metaphors or daydreams. They are vivid, clear, real experiences that arise from a silent and almost forgotten place. Your body, with its inner images, symbols, and sense of expansion, is the key. And we're not talking about distant retreats or external substances, but rather a simple, almost imperceptible touch at a precise point. Interestingly, this point isn't in the head or the heart. It's deeper and much more accessible. If you sense that something is about to surface, a blocked intuition, an untapped vision, a dormant potential, this video will show you why it hasn't happened yet and how it can happen now. You don't need to be a therapist, guru, or initiate. You simply need to understand a hidden mechanism, forgotten by many, but activated by those who dare to break out of the ordinary. A light touch awakens a new perception of self. There is an invisible line that connects the head to the spine. This line is more than just structure. It is flow, vibration, and consciousness. A silent energy flows through it, which, when released, transforms the body into a temple of revelation. This axis, ignored in common practice, forms the backbone of altered states of consciousness. And it all begins at an unexpected point: the sacrum. For the Hermeticists, the body was a sacred temple with portals to the divine. Hermes Trismegistus spoke of the ends of the spiral, an accurate metaphor for what science today calls the craniosacral axis. And while science was still in its infancy, ancient practices already knew this. Through touch, listening, and silence, the invisible channels open. In this video, you'll discover a point in your body that's directly connected to consciousness and can evoke images, symbols, and messages that aren't fantasies, but deep recordings of your psychic field. When stimulated, this point triggers a rare neurophysiological response. Brain waves slow, the vagus nerve is activated, and pleasure neurotransmitters are released. And the portal to lucid dreaming opens. This isn't a miracle or vague mysticism. It's a natural process that awakens when you tune into the silent language of your body. A conscious touch of the sacrum goes beyond physical sensation. It's like a key that opens an energetic lock. And when that lock opens, you don't imagine it. You step inside, you don't think about it. You observe it. Staying until the end of this video is not just a decision, but an act of activation. The wisdom revealed here can change your sleep, dream, and waking habits. Not all knowledge has been recorded. Some truths were written into the flesh, like living inscriptions, waiting only for the right touch to be read. This was taught by the ancient Hermeticists. The body as a living spellbook. Every bone, every heartbeat, a hidden key. Among these keys, the sacrum was considered a sacred seal, the guardian of the memory of creation. Hermes Trismegistus, whose wisdom resonates among alchemists, mystics, and scientists, described 7 body seals, the last of which, the most ethereal, rested at the base of the spine. There, it was said, lay a subtle consciousness that, with the right touch, released visions, symbols, and revelations. Not allegories, but direct experiences of the expanding soul. In Egypt, Chaldea, and India, this region played a central role in the rituals of transmutation. It was not about blind faith, but about method. Initiates knew that by inducing deep relaxation, the body sends signals through the sacral axis that allow the mind to penetrate the veil of everyday life. The result? Lucid dreams, inner contact, glimpses into the past, and glimpses into the future. All these traditions point to the same principle. The body is the first and last spiritual technology, and conscious touch is the gesture that activates its secret code. In the Book of Secrets, Thoth described this gesture as the divine touch that awakens the eyes of the soul. It was a language without words, in which silence opened portals that language cannot reach. Today, this ancient knowledge is buried under the weight of rationality, yet it still pulsates. I live in practices like craniosacral therapy, which revives this forgotten wisdom in new forms. The idea behind it is that the body can daydream, and that the right touch invites it to remember. And in current neuroscience, there is growing interest in how the body influences deep states, not only through the brain, but also through the dialogue between peripheral nerves, the brain, and subtle structures such as fascia and cerebrospinal fluid. Research using electroencephalography (EEG) has shown that states of deep relaxation, induced by practices such as conscious breathing, meditation, and subtle body touch, can increase the activity of alpha and theta waves, which are associated with active imagination, introspection, and access to the unconscious. This brain pattern is also common in lucid dreaming and advanced meditation. Furthermore, stimulation of the vagus nerve, which runs along the craniosacral axis, has been clinically studied for its effects on reducing anxiety, enhancing neuroplasticity, and even promoting deep states of presence and expanded awareness. Science has already recognized that the body sends more signals to the brain than the other way around, and that changes everything. This means that by relaxing specific points in the body, you can directly influence your state of consciousness. Craniosacral therapy, once marginalized, is now being studied by some integrative approaches for its potential effects on regulating the parasympathetic system, which is responsible for inducing a state of calm, healing, and sensitive perception. What the ancients called inner awakening is now being translated by science with terms such as somatic self-regulation and deep autonomic response. The bridge between the invisible and the measurable is being built. And the further we go, the more we confirm what the ancient traditions already knew. The body is a portal if you know how to listen to it. The bridge has been built. What was once mystical is now measurable. And the further science advances, the more it confirms what the initiates have always said. The body is a portal to spiritual perception if we know how to listen to it. But it's not about listening to voices or thoughts. It's about listening to the body, vibrating in silence, like a living temple whispering forgotten wisdom. The first step is to slow down, not only to silence the outside world, but especially the noise within. Find a place where time stands still. Lie or sit with your spine straight but not stiff. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to the base of your spine, right where your sacrum rests. Don't force it. Simply notice it. This subtle listening opens the first portal. When the body senses it is being heard, it activates its secret self-regulatory mechanisms. The transition from normality to lucid dreaming begins. To reach this threshold, unite your breath with your sacral center. Inhale as if a golden light were touching the base of your spine. Exhale and imagine this light spiraling upward. Repeat this slowly 5 times. On the third breath, you may feel warmth, tingling, or expansion. This isn't your imagination. This is your neuroquantum field, responding to your current consciousness. Many ignore these signals. Here, you will hear them. Now touch. Apply gentle pressure to the sacrum with your fingertips, as light as the weight of a pedal. Do not massage. Don't manipulate. Just give signals. Touch your partner for a full minute in absolute silence and with full attention. You're telling your body, it's safe, it's allowed to dream. This gesture activates the parasympathetic circuit, reduces the brain's alert state, and releases images, memories, and symbols from the subconscious. Simply observe. The waking dream approaches. With the contact established, your inner field begins to reorganize. You now enter the second level, symbolic receptivity. After a minute, remain still. Listen with your body. Focus on the inside of your eyelids, as if looking at a dark screen on which shapes, colors, and subtle movements gradually emerge. Don't control, just allow. That's the language of your vibrational subconscious. He speaks not with words, but with archetypes, sensations, and inner landscapes. The soul reveals itself. It is the same principle as the visions of the ancient oracles. But now you are the oracle. Science calls this the hypnagogic state, the transition between wakefulness and dreaming, in which theta waves open the symbolic mind. When images come, don't judge. When emotions come, breathe them in. When nothing comes, just be. Sustained silence is already changing your field. Remember, the goal is not to force visions, but to open the door to spontaneous clarity. And that requires sacred patience. After a few minutes in this space, ask yourself 3 inner questions, one after the other and without haste. First, What does my body want to reveal to me right now? Second, what image needs to emerge for my healing? Third, which part of me is ready to awaken? Don't wait for answers. They can come as a feeling, a memory, an inner sentence, or even a dream later on. Let the question vibrate. If you endure the silence without expectation, something begins to reorganize, and then true integration begins. From now on, what has been achieved must come alive, for it is not enough to touch the invisible. One must embody it. It is time for a vibratory grounding to transform visions into wisdom and the ephemeral into essence. And the first act is writing. When you're finished, write everything down. Words, symbols, gaps, write without understanding. Write to correct. This writing is an energetic testimony, a vibrational seal that prevents the experience from being lost. At the end, reflect on what you've written. Highlight a word, drawing, or expression that touched you the most. This will be your mantra for the crossing, your anchor, your inner password. Repeat it 3 times and silently seal the state that now vibrates within you. Awaken now and surrender to peace. Lie down, place your hands on your stomach, and close your eyes. Breathe gently and allow everything within you to calm down, without effort and without expectations. In this deep rest, the body regenerates, the energy field aligns, and your inner vision stabilizes. By repeating this cycle of listening, touching, receptivity, questioning, writing, and anchoring, you begin to build a living bridge between the seen and the unseen, and this bridge pulsates. With each crossing, fewer doubts remain about your true identity. Lucid dreaming is no longer an accident, but a choice, a natural, activatable state. Perhaps the greatest obstacle to this practice is not the technique, but the quiet doubt. What happens when nothing happens? The expectation of immediate results is the most subtle trap on the path. We are trained to measure everything with our eyes, while the true movements of the soul take place in the invisible. This blockage is not technical but vibrational. It arises from the need for control, the desire for signals, and the fear of proving that something works. The body responds not to pressure, but to surrender. Therefore, transmutation begins with a frequency adjustment in which desire is exchanged for permission. It's not about waiting for something to happen, but about maintaining the space as if the process were already underway. And it is. Even without visions, redesign can happen. Even without symbols, there is liberation. Silence is language, and its presence is an invitation. When resistance arises, return to the essential gesture. Breathe into the sacrum, touch it lightly, open your mind, surrender your heart. Repeat, I do not demand, I receive. This is the code, this is the unlocking. The portal remains open, not because it was forced open, but because you stopped trying to break it open. You don't need a temple or ready-made answers, just the courage to listen to what has long wanted to emerge from your body. With this video, you have not only learned a practice, but also gained access to a forgotten language. The language of silent touch, of inner vision, of the wisdom beneath the skin. What is revealed here is not a technique, but a memory. A call to return, because what you're looking for isn't far away. It's in your bones, in your rhythm, in the silence you've avoided for fear of finding nothing. But now you know. The void is fertile, and within it, something ancient awaits your permission. Every time you rest in silence, touching with presence and conscious breathing, you rewrite your own field of perception. And the more often you do this, the clearer the messages become, the gentler the revelations, the more intimate the connection with something greater, which is also you. The beauty of this path is that it requires no belief, only surrender. And what you gain is not control, but truth. A truth that cannot be explained but felt. A clarity that arises not from the mind but from vibrations. As Jung said, one does not attain enlightenment by imagining figures of light, but by becoming conscious of the darkness. Now you have the key, and more than that, you have the choice. Never again let yourself live with your eyes closed when the gateway to seeing has always been within you. If this content has awakened something in you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. This helps us convey this frequency to those who also need to remember. And now we seal this journey together. Comment, I activate clarity in my body. This statement isn't symbolic. It anchors. It proclaims. You are ready. Share this video with anyone who feels lost and perhaps just needs to remember where they've hidden their inner key. Continue your journey. Click on the screen and immerse yourself in another transformative video of our spiritual power. Because whenever you consciously access the invisible, the visible world begins to align with your frequency.